All right, on this episode of Bowkes Talking Bouts, happy to be talking with an individual who has quite the big fight going at Bellator 259. It's happening on May the 21st in a middleweight collision. We've got Fabian Edwards and Austin Vanderford getting out there, and I've got Austin on the show for the first time. How's your day going so far there, man?
It's going good. Hey, I got one question for you.
Fire away.
Are you Canadian?
Yes, indeed I am. Was the accent that obvious?
Okay, I knew it. The way you're saying about it, yes, awesome, man. Cool. I love Canadians, man, for sure.
No, that's fun, though. I feel like I've got like a more moderate Canadian accent, but I mean, it's like relative to Canada, right? So it's one of those things where certain outsiders hear it and they're like, oh, yeah, I'm picking up on something there. So that's a bit of a curiosity there. That's fun you picked up on that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm from Alaska, so it's kind of, we're neighbors. So I figured, I sense the Canadianness, for sure.
Yeah, no, I was noticing that there, like just being in Alaska, and I think you were in the Alaska High School Sports Hall of Fame for your wrestling accolades, I believe. Like, when did the crossover to, get into like Portland and everything like that kind of start happening from there?
Yes, sir. So I wrestled down at Southern Oregon University, and being from Alaska, I didn't really have a ton of opportunities coming out of high school, so I actually walked on to Southern Oregon University as an NAIA school, and eventually earned a full ride and won a national title and all that. So I think just my success in wrestling and having people tell me like, man, you gotta go into fighting when you're done. And my family has always been a big fight fan, and we throw big parties for fights and all sorts of combat sports, boxing and all that. So I thought it would be something that'd be really cool, and I thought it was something that my family could be proud of, and when I finished up wrestling, I jumped into it.
So was it always an MMA-minded thing whereby you were mapping out wrestling as the base for MMA? Just, I mean, in talking about the combat sports culture in your upbringing, like, was it always mindful of being a base style for MMA eventually, the wrestling effort?
Yeah. I mean, we were, I was obviously young in the era with GSG and Matt Hughes and those guys, Dan Henderson, Matt Lindland, Chael, all those guys. So, I knew that the wrestling background, Randy Couture was a big thing and an important thing to have, and a really big advantage, So I think, and then it came down to learn how to strike and submissions and defending submissions and all that. But definitely being in wrestling was obviously my driving force, my motivator to get into MMA.
Yeah, well, I'm picking up on some of the names you're laying down there. Like, you mean Chael Sonnen, Randy Couture, Dan Henderson, just all with the Team Quest kind of connection there. So to that point, what was it like getting to train out in Portland for the period of time you were out there honing skills?
Yeah, it was amazing to be able to really get my career started with Chael, and he was a really big part, and has really been a helping factor for me to be where I'm at, and not just with like the outside things and fighting, but a good guy to learn from skillfully and all that. So really good friend, Chael, really helped me out. Super amazing. He was one of my favorite fighters growing up as a kid too. So kind of surreal to get to train with him and get to introduce him to my family and my parents and all that. Really cool thing.
Yeah, well, that's awesome to hear. I'm smiling just hearing you talk about that there. But then you obviously made the move to Florida. So how's it been getting in that work with American Top Team? I imagine it's leveled up the skills even more, just getting the different perspectives and whatnot.
Yeah, I mean, you can't not be confident being here and training with the guys you train with every day, and the coaches you learn under here. I think it brings a level of confidence into your fight, into your game, and whatnot. I think that's one of the biggest things. You see the Edson Barbozas and all those guys, Dustin Poirier. You see the work they're putting in, and you see what you can do against some of the top guys in the gym, and gives you the confidence. I think MMA is, there's so much confidence is such an important thing, and being confident in your skill set and your preparation. And I think being here is one of the best things that I could have done for my career.
Yeah, and as far as like sparring dynamics leading into certain fights, like, are you an individual who works with sparring partners with similar, I guess, body types or stylistic proclivities to your opponent? And to that point, who are you sparring with ahead of this Fabian Edwards fight?
Yeah, definitely. There's so many guys here. There's so many body types and skill sets here that you really, it's fairly easy to replicate your opponent and whatnot. But more than anything, like, for me, it's just about getting tough rounds in. So, one of my really good training partners is Jaroslav Armazov. He's got the next title fight for welterweight, and he's been a great training partner for me, a good friend, and someone that I can really lean on as far as, when it's time to get really tough rounds in and all that.
Yeah, you mentioned Jaroslav Armazov. I've talked to some other people from the gym, and they were telling me that he plays some pretty fire tunes in the gym when he gets the aux cord. Is that true? Does he generally get the bangers going?
I don't know how much of his music I've really listened to, how much, but he's Ukrainian and Russian guy, so he's got some good tunes, some good Ukrainian Russian music.
Yeah, are you partial to any genres when you're training, or are you kind of just like letting whoever grab the aux cord and you're just rolling with whatever music happens to be playing?
Yeah. I mean, because I get in weird, like, music moods. Sometimes it'll be, I want to listen to some country. Sometimes I want to listen to some hip-hop or reggae or something. But, I'm very diversified when it comes to my music and what I'm in the mood for.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm kind of in a similar boat in that regard there. But compelling fight here coming up here, just in terms of like how things are, positioned with the rankings, just with yourself being in the number 3 spot and Fabian Edwards being at that number 4 spot per the recent rankings rollout there. Like, do you think this is a title eliminator situation here, or do you maybe think someone like John Salter or Anatoly Tokov could maybe get that next crack more so just because of how the rankings are presently laid out?
Yeah, definitely. I think one of those guys is certainly probably going to get the next title fight. But I think this is the next step, and I do think that the winner of this will be considered or be looked at as a guy who can fight for the title as well. So of course there's Costello too. He beat Fabian, and he's a tough middleweight as well. So. I think the rankings is a good baseline and something that we can, base everything off of, and then kind of go from there. I don't necessarily know if the rankings are 100% accurate right now, but it's a good way to start, and I think a good, Bellator knows who the top guys are and who are the guys who are deserving of the title right now. So that's about just going out there and improving all that and putting on a good show, a good performance.
Yeah, no, that's a fair characterization of the rankings. It gives some level of structure, but still some instances where it's like, I think I might put this guy above this guy sort of thing. But I love the attitude going into this fight, and just in general, like, I'd seen that Instagram post you had there where you were talking about how it's Paige Vanzant's husband against Leon Edwards' brother. Like how did you develop that demeanor over time? Because I remember, like, there were certain people who are, being rattlers on social media coming at you in a certain way there, but it seems like you kind of just, dirt off the shoulder, just kind of rolled with it kind of thing. Like, was there any period where it was irritating a little bit? Like, it's like, come on, guys, screw off. Let me just live my life here.
No, man, I got pretty thick skin, and it's, you know what, you're not going to change any of those. You can fight until you're blue in the face with those people on the internet. So, MMA fans are very fickle. They've got very short memories. So you go out there and win, you're the best guy in the world. Go out there and lose, you're the worst fighter in the world. So, but it's fun, man. The sport's fun, and the fans are fun, and I'm a lighthearted guy, and I have fun. And Fabian was calling me out, calling me Paige Vanzant's boyfriend, and I just wanted to remind him too that he is Leon's little brother, so he can't forget that as well. So something's gonna give, man. Paige Vanzant's husband is gonna be victorious, or Leon Edwards' little brother is gonna win it. So we're gonna see next week, and hopefully people are excited about that.
Yeah, it's in my opinion, it's just kind of a weird way to perceive it. It's like we got a high-level middleweight fight, but you're applying these certain like tags to these people or whatever. It's like, how about we just look at this as a high-level middleweight fight here? I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy.
Yeah. No, we obviously, I know what I bring to the table, and I know what I can go out and do. So, and I'm secure and confident in that. So all the other stuff is just fun.
Oh, no, totally, man. But, I mean, we were talking about Paige Vanzant briefly there, and it seemed like you were just right by her side through the entirety of that BKFC debut. I'm kind of curious because I've interviewed multiple bare-knuckle fighters at this point, and it seems like they've gone through a period of like, I don't know about this, but then they see it live, and it kind of changes their tune a little bit. Is that a thing for you in any kind of way? Like, is there any interest in maybe competing in something like that after seeing it live, or maybe just kind of leave that to Paige more so?
It's kind of funny. It's kind of funny to say. I'm just gonna leave the bare knuckle fighting to Paige, because she's such a beautiful girl and all that. But no, man, that's just cool, man. That is intense. It's fun. It's crazy. But unfortunately, my wrestling skills don't do me much good in a bare knuckle fight. So for the time being, I'm gonna stick with the fighting, MMA fighting, and I'm really happy with Bellator, and I love the promotion. I'm passionate about helping grow Bellator as a promotion, and who knows, maybe overtake the title as the best promotion in the world. So that's where my passion lies. But it is fun, man. I got to tell you, and Paige is already hard in training camp, ready for the next one, and we're excited.
You know, you were joking about not being able to use your wrestling in the bare-knuckle boxing framework there, but it seems like you were able to use your grappling to great effect during that submission underground tenure that was between your Bellator fights there. And then that huge victory over Richie Boogeyman Martinez, I mean, that was an enormous win for sure. I'm kind of wondering, like, you've always been a very, acclaimed grappler and been continually honing the skills, but how much does that run on the submission underground circuit galvanize the confidence that much more so leading into this next Bellator fight?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he's obviously, I felt it, but I know his accolades, and Richie's one of the best no-gi grapplers in the world, and being able to go out there and submit him was a huge feather in my cap, and nothing but respect to him. And who knows if we grappled 10 times, what would happen? But I caught him that day, and that's you don't just do that by luck. So I think it gives me confidence in my grappling skills, and what I can go out there and do. And I think that was something that was I kind of alluded to earlier, was something I was really fortunate about during the pandemic, was being able to compete in that and being able to get some of my competition picks out and whatnot, but it also helped me grow as a fighter. So, definitely feels good and gives me a lot of confidence.
I would probably think, too, it would get you accustomed to the whole idea of competing whereby there's no fans in attendance. Like, was that the case? Or just because they're completely different competitive sports, there wasn't that, I guess, residual carryover there?
Yeah, you know what? The no fans thing doesn't bother me in the least. So, of course, I would love to have the fans there and put on a show like that. But, in wrestling, wrestling's not the most popular sport. So, oftentimes there wasn't a lot of fans at dual meets and tournaments and whatnot. So, I'm used to competing at a high level without fans. And then, then you even go into challenge matches and whatnot in the mat room, and being able to challenge off to get to wrestle that weekend, and how much that meant, and not really having fans for that either. So competition to me is competition, whether there's fans or not. I'm going to go out and lay it all on the line and try to achieve my goals.
Yeah, for sure. And you seem laser focused ahead of this fight here. But I also want to be mindful of your presumably busy schedule here leading into such a high stakes fight. So to that point, is there anything you maybe want to add as a parting thought as we're kind of wrapping things up here, man?
No, just thankful for you having me on, and man, I hope everyone tunes in and on May 21st and watches this go down. Man, it's going to be a good one. I think it's an important fight for both of our careers, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be violent.
Yeah, I was already excited to see Fabian Edwards and Austin Vanderford get out there and test skills, but that much more excited after talking to you, man. So I appreciate all the time and insights, and yeah, just best of luck with the remainder of the preparations, but also just have a good rest of your day too.
Yeah, thank you so much, brother. I hope you have a good day, and appreciate you having me on.